Hi students, in the last class we discussed about definition of matter, properties of matter, that is shape, volume, compressibility, diffusion. We discussed some more information about diffusion also. In this class I will do some activities for you to explain some new concepts. Okay, first activity according to me, activity 1. Activity. After completion of activity 1, I will show there is a intermolecular space. Intermolecular space. Intermolecular space present in between particles of matter. There is some intermolecular space. That means some space is there between particles of matter, whether they are solids or liquids or gases. Between intermolecular space in between particles of matter. So I will perform this particular activity. Take a beaker, take a glass beaker and fill with some amount of water. Mark the level of water with a marker. Mark the level of water. Mark the level of water. This is the level of water. Mark the level of water. Mark the level of water like this. After that you will add any salt. At your home you have table salt sodium chloride. So for that you will add some amount of sodium chloride. Some amount of sodium chloride. I added some amount of sodium chloride. 3 spatulas of sodium chloride I taken. 3 spatulas of sodium chloride. So stir this particular sodium chloride. Stir the solution until all the solid particles dissolves in liquid. After few seconds you will observe that all the solid particles dissolved in liquid, but there is no change in the volume. Observe clearly, there is no change in the volume. The mark does not change. There is no change in the volume of the liquid. You think that if you add some amount of another substance, immediately the level of water increases. But here in this case it does not take place. Why? Because the solid particles are entered into the intermolecular space present between the particles of matter. That means in this particular liquid water, some space is there between the water molecules. In that space the solid particles are entered. That means, say for example, this is water molecule. Let us assume this is water. This is the shape of this water. Let us assume. If you add salt, these salt particles are entered here. These salt particles are entered here and dissolves in the solution. This is the word salt. That's why whenever you add some amount of salt to this particular water, the volume does not change. If you add more amount of salt to this particular solution, immediately the volume changes. Why? Because it can dissolve only certain amount of solid. Why? Because it has some certain amount of intermolecular space. If you dissolve all the amount of the salts into that particular liquid, immediately volume changes. Why? Because it does not dissolve all the amount of salt taken into that particular beaker. That's why it only dissolves only certain amount of salt. So from this, what I concluded that there is an intermolecular space is present between the atoms in a matter. There is an intermolecular space present in between particles of matter. That's why the new substance entered into that particular solution occupies that space and dissolves in that particular solution. This is about activity 1. Now I will perform another activity. Listen. So activity 2. Activity 2. So what about activity 2? Activity 2. Okay. So with the help of this activity, okay, I will explain one crystal of solid one crystal of solid contains so many number of particles, so many lakhs of, so many number of particles. After completion of this activity, I will show one crystal of solid contains so many number of particles. For this, I will take already I prepared this solution, potassium permanganate solution. I already taken. Take another beaker. Take another test tube. This is a test tube. Some potassium permanganate solution is. Take some amount of small amount of this solution and add with wash bottle. With wash bottle, add water. With wash bottle, add high amount of water up to the mark. Okay. Then again, take another test tube and add this solution. Some amount of this solution and add again water. And add again water. Again take this solution. Again take this solution. Again take this solution and take small amount of solution from this test tube and add high amount of water. High amount of water. So what is the conclusion? I will show again these four. I will show again these four. This is very bright color solution. This is light pink, light color solution, very light color solution. There is no color in this solution. Some light pink, very, very light color solution. From this, what we concluded that one crystal of solid contains so many number of particles. I taken only one crystal of potassium permanganate into this particular solution. It gives a dark pink color solution. I taken some amount of this particular solution and I added few amount of water. I got this light pink color solution. Again I added some amount. I taken this solution some amount into another beaker, added excess amount of water. I get this solution. That means one crystal of solid contains so many number of molecules. They are uniformly distributed into the solution to give color. The intensities of the colors changes because of dilution. If you add more and more water to the solution, you will get light color solution. Say for example, if you add water to this solution, immediately the color will change. You observe that some color was changed. Okay, this is about an activity. This is the activity regarding one crystal solid contains so many number of particles. For this, I used potassium permanganate crystal as a material. Okay, this is about activity 2. According to me, activity 2, one crystal of solid contains so many number of particles. That means in one crystal of potassium permanganate solution, lakhs of molecules, Avogadro number of molecules are there. Very, very small particles are there. We cannot see those particles. But if you observe all these colors, it is having so many number of particles. This is about activity 2. Okay. Next, we will discuss about another activity. Activity 3. So activity 3 means, okay, activity 3 is about, is there any force of attraction between particles of matter? Is there any force? It is about, is there any force of attraction? Is there any force of attraction between particles of matter? Is there any force of attraction between particles of matter? Okay, for this we can easily we will do. For this I will take one chalk piece, one rock, one ball. Okay, say for example, can I break this particular chalk piece without applying any force? Without applying any force, I cannot break this particular chalk piece. If I apply some amount of force, it breaks into two pieces. Can I break this particular rock into two pieces? I will try my level best, but it is not possible to break this particular rock into two pieces. Why? Because there is some force of attraction between particles in matter. What about chalk piece and rock? In chalk, when compared with chalk piece and rock is having in rock particles, in rock particles, the force of attraction between rock particles is very strong. That's why I cannot broke that particular rock. But in the case of chalk piece, the force of attraction between the particles of matter is very less. That's why I'm using very less force for breaking. Okay, so from this what I concluded that is there any force of attraction between the particles of matter? Yes, there is a force of attraction between the particles of matter. That's why we cannot separate. Example, we cannot separate or break. We cannot break stream of water from tap. We cannot separate. Why? Because this is tap, water is coming like this. If you introduce your finger here, it changes into two paths. But within fraction of seconds, again these two paths are combined to form as a flow. That means we cannot separate. We cannot break the flow of water. Why? Because there is a force of attraction between particles of matter. This is about activity. There is a force of attraction between particles of matter. Okay. These three are the activities. Now I will discuss effect of temperature on states of matter. Now I will discuss effect of temperature on states of matter. Okay. Next topic is effect of temperature on change of matter. Effect of temperature on change of state of matter. Okay, before going to this topic, first we will discuss about what is the definition of temperature. Temperature. The degree of hotness of a body, the degree of hotness of a substance, is called temperature. Hotness of a body. Hotness of a body is called temperature. Degree of hotness of body. Degree of hotness of a body is called temperature. We know our today room temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. Today room temperature is 38 degrees centigrade. We are familiar with the term temperature. Temperature means degree of hotness of a body. Degree of hotness of a body. Okay. So, effect of temperature on change of matter. What will happen? Simply, when you heat ice cubes. Say for example, take some ice cubes from fridge. If you heat, delta is the symbol used for heat. It is a symbol for heat. When you heat ice present in solid state. When you heat ice, immediately it changes into which state? Immediately it changes into water. We know it is a simple example. Water which is present in liquid state. Again if you heat that particular water, what will happen? What will happen? Water changes into water vapor. Water vapor. Water vapor. The state of water vapor is gaseous state. The solid form of water is ice. The liquid form of water is water. The gaseous form of water is water vapor. So that means what we conclude there, when you heat solid, you will get liquid. If you heat liquid, you will get gas. This is the effect of temperature on change of state of matter. That means if you heat the temperature, if you raise the temperature of solid, if you raise the temperature of the solid, solid changes to liquid. If you raise the temperature of the liquid, liquid changes to gas. What phenomena involved in this? Let us discuss. Okay, this is the solid perfect packed arrangement. Okay, when you heat, when you heat, that means, say for example, when you heat, when you give heat, by absorbing this particular heat, its a kinetic energy increases. Because of absorption of heat, there is a the force of attraction between these two particles decreases. By applying heat, we can break the force of attraction between the two particles. By applying heat, we can break the particles into two separate atoms by applying heat. By applying heat, the regular arrangement changes into irregular arrangement. The regular arrangement changes into irregular arrangement. That means perfect packed structure changes into irregular packed structure. If you heat again, here some force of attraction is there. When compared with this force is less. When you heat again and again, finally the total force of attraction totally collapses. The force of attraction finally the force of attraction decreases. So one gas molecule is here, another gas molecule is here, another is here, another is here, another is here, another is here. It is nothing but, this is nothing but solid. It is nothing but liquid. It is nothing but gas. Okay. By applying temperature, the intermolecular force of attraction decreases. The intermolecular space increases. That's why solid changes to liquid, liquid changes to gas. By applying heat energy, solids gains energy. Their kinetic energy increases. Due to the increase of kinetic energy, they are interested to move freely. That's why the space between two atoms increases. That's why solid changes to liquid. Again, if you give heat, the space between liquid particles also more and more increases. Then liquid converts into gas. Okay, this is the effect of temperature on change of state of matter. So in this concept, we will discuss some new terms. Okay, what are there? Few terms are melting or fusion, freezing, condensation, boiling, evaporation. First, we will discuss the definition of melting or fusion. The process of conversion of solid into liquid is called melting. Melting is a process. The process of conversion of solid into liquid is called melting. That means when you heat solid, if it converts into liquid, that process is called melting. Another name of melting is fusion. Okay. Next, another definition, melting point. The temperature at which solid will melt is called melting point. That means in which temperature the solid will melt. That means the solid slowly changes into liquid. At which temperature solids will convert it into liquid. That particular temperature is called melting point. Melting point of ice is 0 degrees centigrade. Melting points of different substances are different. Ice is having 0 degrees centigrade, another substance is having another temperature. All the substances are not having same type of melting points. Second, freezing. freezing. The process of conversion of liquid into solid is called freezing. The reverse of melting. Freezing is reverse of melting. Reverse of melting. The process of conversion of liquid into solid. Liquid into solid is called freezing. The process of conversion of liquid into solid is called freezing. The process of conversion of solid into liquid is called melting. On heating, if solid converts into liquid, that is called melting. These all are the effect of temperature processes. Melting. On heating, the process of conversion of solid into liquid is called melting. The process of conversion of liquid into solid is called freezing. Liquid. When you cool liquid, on cooling, liquid converts into solids. Solid. On cooling, liquid converts into solid. The process of conversion of liquid into solid is called freezing. It is a cooling process. It is a heating process. Okay, next. Freezing point. Freezing point. The temperature at which liquid will freeze is called the temperature at which liquid will freeze, that is starts conversion of liquid into solid, will freeze is called freezing point. Is called freezing point. Up to now we discussed two new terms, melting or fusion, freezing. Another definition, melting point, freezing point. Very very important bit. Melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade. Freezing point of ice is also 0 degree centigrade. Freezing point, FP shortcut. FP of ice is 0 degree centigrade. That means at 0 degree centigrade, ice slowly converts into water. That means at 0 degree centigrade, ice converts into water, slowly converts into water. At 0 degree centigrade, water converts into ice. That means there is an equilibrium exists between water and ice at 0 degree centigrade. Okay, this is about melting and freezing. Now we will discuss about another definition, another term, condensation. Another definition, condensation. What is condensation? In your 6th class, we studied about the definition of condensation in the lesson Rhine. Where does it came from? In that particular lesson, we discussed about condensation. The definition of condensation is the process of conversion of gas into liquid is called condensation. The process of conversion of gas into liquid is called condensation. This topic already covered in your 6th class Rhine lesson. Where does it came from lesson? Okay. Condensation. Third one, condensation. Condensation. No need to write the definition. Condensation means liquid on cooling. The process of conversion of liquid into the process of conversion of gas into liquid is called condensation. Liquid, which is present in liquid state. The process of conversion of water vapor, which is present in gaseous state, on cooling, it converts into water, liquid state. It is the definition of condensation. Okay, this is about condensation. Next, another term, fourth one, boiling. Boiling. What is the definition of boiling? Very very important. This concept is also there in your 10th class heat lesson. That is the basics for your 10th class. first lesson, heat lesson. In that particular lesson, what is the difference between boiling and evaporation? Very, very important question. Write a note on boiling, write the definition of condensation, write the definition of melting. All these are there in your 10th class. Okay, for sometimes the examiner will ask a question. Define the following terms: melting, freezing, condensation, boiling, evaporation. So it is, this concept is very, very important for you in 10th class heat lesson. So boiling, what is the definition of boiling? The process of conversion of liquid into gas. Very, very important definition. Liquid into gas at any temperature. Very, very important word. At any temperature. The process of conversion of liquid into gas at any temperature. Sorry, that the process of conversion of liquid into gas at its boiling point. At its boiling point. At its boiling point is called boiling. That means I will explain the process of conversion of liquid into gas at its boiling point is called boiling. Now I will explain another definition here. Then we will compare those two definitions. Evaporation. These two are very, very important for our 10th class heat lesson. Evaporation. The process of conversion of liquid into gas below its boiling point. The process of conversion of liquid into gas at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. With this definition, we will conclude this lesson, this topic, today's session. The process of conversion of liquid into gas. The process of conversion of liquid into gas at any temperature below its boiling point. Very, very important point. At any temperature, at any temperature below its boiling point. Below its boiling point. Its boiling point. Is called evaporation. I will explain clearly in the next session. Thank you so much.